It's KP's Video News, y'all. KP's Video News, y'all. It's KP's Video News, y'all. It's KP's Video News, y'all. It's KP's Video News, y'all.
That's right. KP's Video News, y'all. And I go to work. Getting ready, man. Rolling up my sleeves here. Getting ready to go to work. Getting ready to go to work on them. That's right. Ready to go to work on them here. It's another episode of KP's Video News, y'all. Gotta do what it does, y'all. Yep. Gotta do what it do. So I'm gonna dive right in, man. I'm not gonna waste no time. Go to work. Family. It's a family of a drug dealer pardoned by Joe Biden after 2 decades devastated as he's forced to return to prison. And it's really a sad situation. It's a Houston man who spent more than 20 years incarcerated, but he was given clemency by Joe Biden, but he's now been put back behind bars. Ronald Lymuel was convicted in 2005 for possession with intent to distribute. He spent 20 years in prison and was granted clemency during Biden's final days in office. The clemency order was part of a broad order addressing the prison sentences of individuals who were incarcerated for non-violent drug charges. Lymuel was released on February 9th, and his mother met him at the jail and gave him a big hug and the first moments released from prison. His family, his siblings, children, grandchildren were all in attendance to greet him back into the world. And his sister couldn't describe the feeling of getting her brother back. You know, being able to hug him, being able to touch him, you know, him being able to see his kids and grandkids, he could start life all over again. 2 weeks later, on February 23rd, Lymuel received a call from the Federal Bureau of Prisons informing him that a clerical error had been the cause of his premature release, and he was ordered to return himself back immediately. Wow, man. When reached for comment, the Federal Bureau of Prisons said there was little information they could provide due to the safety and privacy concerns. His sister said she cried after hearing the news. And like they said, the brother had to go back to jail. He's like, how? What happened? And, you know, we thought he was free. And then the system just yanked him back. And the rest of the family was devastated. Brent Maher, an attorney representing Lymuel, stated that the development shocked him. And I called his counsel and asked, is this really happening? What's going on? And of course, he said yes. He wouldn't give me any details, but said he needed to report back. And Mayer said that he was afraid that Donald Trump's determination to reverse anything done by Biden would result in Lymuel, the potentially others who had their sentences commuted, being forced to return to prison after brief periods of freedom. Wow, scandalous dude, man. Just rotten to the core. Billboard said her brother had been making plans to make the most of his future and his freedom. This is the worst. You talk about a roller coaster of emotions. They were just getting used to being together again, and then this happens. According to his attorney, Lymuel followed all the rules imposed on him by the clemency order, which included meeting with his probation officer regularly, and his family is fighting to get him released again and is petitioning to have him placed on in-home confinement until his release is finalized. As a report, the Bureau of Prisons has not replied to the family. The agency released a statement acknowledging the controversy, and the only thing they said was, for privacy and security reasons, the Federal Bureau of Prisons does not discuss the conditions of confinement of any incarcerated individual, including release plans or reasons for changes in release plans. Wow, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. Can't let this happen, man. You just can't let this happen to people, and you just can't let it happen to anybody else. About everyone who's been wronged by a system that's supposed to be protected. You're supposed to be protected by the system, but you got people that are in D.C. right now, man, are just running amok, and they're doing all kind of crazy stuff. I mean, listen at this. This story right here. Marjorie Taylor Greene allegedly bought stocks hit hard by Trump tariffs during the market meltdown. So the stocks tanked after the tariffs. She went in and bought a bunch of stocks. So Republican Congressman, avid supporter of the Trump administration's trade policies, not only bought stocks last week as others dumped them in panic, she scooped up some of the biggest losers. Lululemon, Dell, Amazon, and the parent of Restoration Hardware and a few others hit by the Trump tariffs and threats were down 40% on the average last week, and then she jumped on it. But however much she spent, some of her bets are working out so far, at least as of Wednesday. Wow. Dell jumped 9%, and see, this is what you call insider trading. It's insider trading. Tariffs, powerful, leverage to protect. They claim that they're trying to protect national interests, but it looks like to me that it's a financial grab. It's a grab. You knew about the tariffs, and last week they were saying about how she dumped tariffs and dumped a bunch of stocks, allegedly dumped a bunch of stocks, and then after all the stocks tanked because of Trump's tariffs, then she went back and bought in on the stocks that were low. So when he came back the next day and said, "Oh, well, I'm not gonna put the tariffs on for 90 days," and then she went, was able to make a lot of money because the stocks went back up. Man, you're talking about a bunch of crooks, man. You're talking about a bunch of crooks in D.C. Wow, you're talking about a bunch of doggone crooks, man. It's sad. It's really sad. I mean, here's another story that's going on here. Trump administration cancels all South Sudan visas and has already deported 100,000 immigrants. And so Marco Rubio announced that the United States is halting the issuing of new visas and revoking existing ones for South Sudanese passport holders, effective immediately. The decision follows ongoing tensions over immigration cooperation and the return of South Sudanese nationals who have been repatriated from the United States. Rubio called the South Sudanese transitional government's unwillingness to facilitate timely returns as a primary reason for the move. Wow. So Rubio expressed frustration with the lack of cooperation from South Sudan's leadership. Every nation has a responsibility to accept the return of its citizens. South Sudan has reportedly failed to do so, and the United States can no longer tolerate this disregard. So the U.S. Department echoed the sentiment, stating it's time for the South Sudanese government to stop taking advantage of American goodwill and act responsibly. So these are black people they're trying to send back to South Sudan, which is really crazy. South Sudan is a landlocked country in East Central Africa and shares borders with Ethiopia to the east, Kenya, Uganda, and the Democratic Republic of Congo to the south. Wow, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. According to the Department of Homeland Security, more than 300,000 foreign nationals protected under the Temporary Protected Status Program are now subject to deportation. Since taking office, like I said, they already deported over 100,000 undocumented immigrants. So these people are documented. They're not undocumented. These are documented people that had visas, that were living here, that were here legally, that they have been you know, just dogged out, man. Dogged out by this administration. Yep. So here we go with a guy, man, with obvious mental issues here, or just plain evil. He's got a Florida man pleaded guilty to taking the life of his parents and admitting to police that he shot his parents because they were annoyed by how much time he spent playing video games. Joseph Voigt allegedly shot his mother and father, Marvin Voigt and Susan Voigt, you know, and on December 7th, 2024. And so this article is just coming out for some reason, but he pleaded guilty on April 7th to second-degree hit and first-degree hit, attempted hit. He previously been charged with first-degree hit, but the charge was reduced in a plea agreement. So he pleaded, got a plea agreement there, and so I don't know when he's going. Let's see. This is crazy. I mean, the guy's sitting there playing video games, and his parents told him he needed to get a job. Yeah, he needed to get a job by making something of himself and getting a job. And instead of getting a job, he decided to hit his mother and father. That's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's really, really, really crazy. Just stupid stuff going on. Now he got a man that lost his life yesterday after he was confronted. What happened was he confronted a group of shoplifters in a parking lot in South El Monte, California. And, a 60-year-old guy was helping at his brother's shop, Giant Discount, when a group of people entered the store and stole a box of masks. And he chased the shoplifters, who, according to witnesses, attacked him, hit him in the head, knocked him down. And the suspect's getaway vehicle, and, so they hit him with the car. LA County Sheriff's Department is investigating the situation and have confirmed that it was related to a shoplifting incident. Officials have yet to declare it a homicide, but a lot of deputies you see in plain clothes are out with video canvas teams, and they out here taking pictures. But I'm willing to bet one thing: they out there taking pictures, but they ain't gonna be taking no pictures of no cops when they're out there doing their crimes. This is something new to me. It says a lot of deputies you see in the plain clothes are our video canvas team, and they are working diligently to find leads. Wow. Okay. On Wednesday evening, detectives canvassed the area on foot and knocked on doors in search of any information that they could find about this situation. And, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. People just, are out there right now. And it's going to get worse because you got a lot of people that are desperate. A lot of people that are losing everything. They're losing jobs, you got a government, man, that cares more about money than they do the people, and they're cutting jobs and they're cutting benefits, and they want to get rid of welfare, and they want to get rid of Medicare, and they want to get rid of this, they want to get rid of that, but they're not replacing anything. So if you're getting rid of something that the people need, but you're not replacing it with anything, what you're doing is you're making the country destitute. You're turning the country into a third world country with using, because you were born with a silver spoon in your mouth. You have no empathy and no type of care whatsoever for the average working person. You could care less about them because you've never done that. You've never had to work a job in your life. And I'm talking to the DC dunce over there. So anyway, this is something else the DC dunce just did. And the daughter of the first black Marine calls out Trump the DC dunce DEI removal of her father's tribute. The daughter of Alfred Masters, the first African-American man enlisted in the U.S. Marine Corps, says she's shocked that a webpage honoring her father has been quietly removed from the Marine Corps website. She believes it was taken down as part of the Pentagon review of diversity-related content. Alfreda Masters said her father was initially rejected by the Marines in 1942 because he was black, but after a recruiter later offered him a chance to enlist, he became the first black Marine. He served in a segregated unit during World War II and reached the rank of technical sergeant, and his services included deployments in Guam and the South Pacific. Until recently, the Marine Corps honored him as a Black History Month article, which also recognized the Montford Point Marines, the first group of black Marines who served during segregation. And so now the page leads you to a 404 not found error. Wow. Removal. His daughter stated that, the removal, it was just unbelievable. Said she discovered the page was gone when she called Camp Lejeune to ask if her father would be honored this year again. And the base reportedly told her they no longer highlight individual figures during Cultural Awareness Months. Wow. That's crazy, man. That is crazy. In a statement, the Marine Corps said it had removed content related to cultural awareness months like Black History Month, but clarified that historical mentions of Montford Point Marines, including Alfred Masters, remain elsewhere on their site. Yep. So his daughter believes that the move erases an important part of American history, not just black history. She recalled how her father faced racism even after his service, including being forced to ride in a mail car on his way back home because of segregation laws in the laws in the South. Wow. Wow, this is crazy, man. Yeah. There's a lot of stupidity going on here. There's a lot of foolishness and a lot of stupidity and a lot of ignorance going on here, and all because these people were so filled with hate and racism that they didn't want to have a black woman elected president, so they voted for this racist buffoon that's robbing them blind, that's stealing everything that's not nailed down, and creating a divide, a great divide in this country that will probably never be repaired. So it's crazy, man. Like I said, roll up your sleeves, man. Roll up your sleeves and get busy, because you're going to have to.
It's KP's Video News, y'all.
KP's Video News, y'all.
KP's Video News, y'all.
You know who it is.
It's KP's Video News, y'all.
Roll up your sleeves, folks.
It's KP's Video
Get busy.
News, y'all.
Put that work in.